KKHT wants you to meet three of the classiest guys in real estate.
I am Chris Kelso, the maestro of mortgage.
I am Rob Cook, the godfather of real estate.
And I'm Joe Orsack, the king of credit swing. And together, we're the Real Estate Rat Pack. Much like us, real estate right now is smoking hot. So whether it's buying, selling, or owning, you need to check out the Real Estate Rat Pack.
They're here to take your calls and answer your questions live. Call now, 1-800-808-5548. And now, the Real Estate Rat Pack!
Woo! Now I'm the only noisy one this week. You know, look at this. I got a whole group of new folks in here today. Welcome to the Real Estate Rat Pack radio show. Man, we got an awesome show lined up for you guys today. I'm really excited about this. This is a fun topic and something I'm really interested in myself. Always excited to be on the show. I am going solo today. I had to bring in, pinch hitters today. Stunt doubles, if you will. I got Rob is up in Dallas. I don't know. I think he's got a CIA convention or something going on up there, some secret operative thing. What's going on up there again? So, John, you're going over there. Tell me what's going on.
It's the Texas Association of Realtor Convention this weekend, so I think he's up there,
drinking,
networking. Yeah, he's probably is that too.
Learning. Learning.
Yeah,
but I say drinking out loud
to hang with him, so he better be ready.
I'm sending John up there to check on you, Rob. We got Chris out. Chris is sick as a dog, man. He had a fever, called me yesterday, and, didn't sound very good. So, Chris, man, I know you're listening. I hope you get better, buddy. We miss you and have you back next week. So, man, I'm going to introduce some folks. We've got a show lined up for you guys today. We're going to be talking about investing in real estate in the Houston market. What's that look like? Craziness. That's what it looks like. We got some great experts on the show today. I've got my old friend, my buddy, Will Fitz from First Imperial Mortgage. He's pinch hitting for Chris today to cover those tough mortgage questions. We were talking before the show, and I already mentioned something, and he said, "Yeah, well, that looks good on paper. You really don't do that." I said, "And that's why I don't do mortgage." Right there.
Throw the lefty.
I will remain the credit expert. So I had to bring on some mortgage expertise today, but we've got a ton of real estate expertise in the room today. If you guys want to call in, 800-808-5548, and we're going to be talking about real estate investing. So if you got those questions, we've got the experts in town. I have Rob on the line, and I just realized when he handed me this piece of paper that said that Rob was on the line that I don't have headphones, so as soon as Rob starts talking, I'm not going to have a clue what he's saying. So, and now we're all just scrambling, looking around the room. Hey, we're experts. Don't try this at home. Rob, I'm going to bring you up and pretend like I can hear you while I scramble for headphones. Oh, look at that. Somebody hand me some. I was trying to stall that whole time. That's what was going on. Rob, are you there?
It's going great. It's a beautiful day up here in Dallas, Texas.
Beautiful day in Dallas.
And I'm up here for the Texas Association of Realtors Convention.
Cool, Texas Association of Realtors Convention. John Altic is here in the studio today, and he's going to be coming up to see you after the show.
Well, I'm actually getting very garbled things, so I'm going to call back in so I can understand you better. So I'll call back in a moment.
Okay, not a problem. You had a garbled line. All right, well, Rob's going to give us a shout back here in a second and let us know what's going on up the Texas Association of Realtors Convention up in Dallas. Another super hot market up there. So, anyway, Dallas is Houston. I just went brain dead when I would say that. Texas as a whole is just a smoking hot market right now. Texas is definitely the place to be. So, I mean, we say it all the time. Texas is the greatest states. So, I thought somebody was disagreeing with me over there. Rob, is Rob back on the line? All right, okay, we're going to try Rob again here. He had a garbled line. Rob, are you there?
Well, actually, you know what? I'm getting really mixed signals, and I'm just very garbled sounding. So I think the technology's not going to work today.
Wow. Well.
So I'm going to let you go solo. I'll try to call back in a little bit, see if it's going to work any better. But it's just all I can hear from your side is scrambled words.
Hey, you gotta love technology. All right.
So anyway, but you got a great cast there, so I'm expecting that you're all going to do great, and my heart and soul will be with you.
Absolutely, buddy.
So have a great show.
Have a great time up there. All right, well, let's jump in, man. We've got our first guest today. Has one of those last names that I'm just going to try to say flawlessly. I said it off air, so that means I'm totally going to screw it up right now that everybody's listening. Chris Mastrangelo.
Perfect. You said it absolutely perfect.
Rocked it. Yes. Chris, tell us who you are, where you come from, all that sort of thing. Give us a little background on you.
Okay, so I'm the broker and owner of Habitation Realty. We've got about 22 agents in the Heights on Yale Street, and I'm also on the investment side. So I've been investing in real estate for 15 years now in 4 different marketplaces. I've seen all the upturns and downturns, and I've seen what to do and what not to do. And right now we're obviously dealing with a really hot market, so you can make a lot of money, but you also have to be really, really careful.
Very cool. Will.
Yes, sir.
Introduce yourself. Say hello over there, buddy.
Hello. This is Will Fitz with First Imperial Mortgage, and also located in the Heights, focusing on residential lending and mostly purchase.
Cool, man. Hey, glad you could stunt double for Mr. Chris Kelso over at Willow Bend today. So you're providing that mortgage expertise.
Glad to be here.
How long you been in Texas? I know you're a California boy.
Yep.
You got here as soon as you could.
Grew up in Texas, went to California, and then I had to come back. So been back for about 4.5 years.
So you're still a real Texan. You just went to get a tan.
Correct. Need a little beach time, some bikinis and waves, and then now I'm back.
I can't blame you for that. All right. Well, this is the crew we've got right now. Chris, tell us a little bit. I've got all kind of questions, and I want to introduce also Jessica. Jessica, you have to say hello on the microphone. If you say nothing more than hello, you've got to say hello. So introduce yourself, Jess.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jessica Cavazos. I am the office manager with Improve My Credit USA. Glad to be here.
She's glad to be here, guys.
We're glad as well.
Yeah.
We need a feminine aspect to this.
Keep us all in line. Things would just get horribly awry if there were no female in the room. I promise.
Yeah,
We'd be burping and making noises and everything else here in no time flat. I know. So let's get into talking about some real estate investment stuff. Chris, what area of town is there an area of town that you focus on that you're strongest in, or that type of thing?
Absolutely. We focus on the Heights, Inner Loop, Rice Military Memorial Park area, Cottage Grove, all the way through Montrose.
Gotcha.
And they all happen to be very, very, very hot neighborhoods, which presents a challenge.
Cool. Well, in the Heights, man, the Heights has been a happening area, and the Heights has got its own little quirkiness. Of all the areas, man, it has an identity for sure. I guess it's a fair of most of the places around town, but Heights has so much history in it. You're finding still some investment opportunities in the Heights area? Yeah,
there is. There's just the problem right now is everybody's jumped in. I remember the same thing happened in 2007 where everybody, their friends, their mothers, everybody was a real estate flipper and investor. And whenever that happens, you've got competition. Everybody's trying to buy at the same time. Prices are driven up. Margins are getting smaller. So when you're dealing with all this coupled together, you just have to be really careful that you don't get burned on a property.
That can happen quickly.
Yeah, and I'm sure Will can jump in about this, but there's a lot of hard money loans out there that are 12, 14%, with 4 points in, 2 points out, and investors are taking these loans left and right. And if that property doesn't go as planned, and they're not able to sell that in the 3 months they think they're going to, they'll get burned. So you got to be careful about the loan you get into. If you're in a safe loan, it's sustainable. If you're not, you're taking a big risk out there.
Well, you seeing that a lot?
I don't really see that often myself, just because
you're not doing hard money loans.
No, I do hard money. No, I do hard money loans. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, yes. And so it's a great way if you have limited cash to get into the market. So that's a great way. I mean, a lot of people think I have to have money to invest, but no, you can go hard money, and it does work. And I guess for me, it's worked. I guess is the case. I mean, for me, they were able to either sell, but we actually also have a cash out option that doesn't have seasoning, so they can actually, after they buy it hard money and fix it up, we can go ahead and refinance some cash out. And
tell me a little bit. Give me some detail on that. What's that look like? So I'm a new investor here in Houston. I'm going. Hey, I got a house under my belt. I've got that experience. Maybe I bought a house or two for myself, and I'm saying, man, the market is looking hot. I'm hearing all about this kind of stuff, but I don't really know where I'm getting in. I may have a little bit down to work with, but financing side, what does that look like these days?
Right. So yeah, in that case,
yes,
it's an investment property. You have to do hard money, and hard money allows you to go ahead and get the money, as Chris mentioned, at very high fees, very high rate, but you're able to get the property, and then also have the money to fix it up in many cases, and you get the property fixed up, and then at that point, you either sell it or you can hold on to it and refinance it. Like I said, refinance it, cash out, get your money back, and then do it again.
There's still some good hard money options out there then?
There are.
Cool.
Yes.
Do you run into a lot of well, and I guess this goes back more to Chris. When you're getting that investor that's coming in, are they finding more? We've got two types of investors. We talked about this before the show, and this is kind of common knowledge. You got the flip opportunity, and there's so many shows on TV that kind of make that look sexy and cool and all that sort of thing. Flip this house and flip this property, and I don't know what I'll move up, and there's like 20 different shows on TV now about flipping property, and that looks cool to everybody. But there can certainly be some pitfalls in that when you're first getting in. Do you deal with new investors? Is it experienced people that you're working with? What does the profile of investor look like these days?
We deal with both. We deal with a lot of new people, and we really walk them through it and make sure that they know exactly what they're getting into. We give them realistic expectations, and then they'll usually do fine. The more seasoned ones, they've kind of got their own opinions. They're trying to do their own markets and really set their own grounds. Yeah, I mean, there's new guys who jump in and do fine. There's new guys that jump in and do terrible. So it just all depends on your skill set and how much research you did and a little bit of luck involved in it too.
And the realtor you choose, better choose a good realtor.
I was going to say, every show we talk about this. Last week we had a whole down payment assistance show, and we had 3 people who were bad to the bone experts in that, right? It's what you're looking for. It's not just find a realtor, find a guy who's been in the business 10 years and take off running. There's so many nuances to real estate, and you really want to interview the realtor. So you know what? That's a good question right off the bat. If I was looking for an investor, if I was looking to invest and not being the experienced investor myself, and I'm saying, I want to get out there, but I don't know where to start. How would I? What's some questions that you would pose as a realtor? This is what you need to ask of your realtor.
Okay, so of course it all depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking to do investment properties only, you better hire a realtor that has done investment properties themselves and has found investment properties for their clients. If you go and try to hire the realtor who specializes in finding the perfect home for her clients, he is not going to be the one that's going to be able to find you and really get you into the right investment property. So first question to ask is, how many investors do you work with? Do you do a lot of flips where you acquire the property and then help also sell it? And then what do you do yourself? I think the key thing is any realtor who really knows what they're doing as far as investments will have their own portfolio. I mean, I've got a portfolio of about 12 rental properties. I flip about 5 to 7 houses a year, and then I've got about 40 units of apartments. So I mean, I'm in it. I know exactly where to go with things, and if you're not actually breathing it and eating it yourself, it's going to be really hard to sell it and make people a lot of money. So I would say if you're looking for investment, it's a completely different criteria in a realtor that you're looking for if you're trying to shop for a home. Do
you find that they're speaking to that same person again? In it, love that, right? Why would you take advice from somebody that's not doing it themselves?
Right.
That's brilliant. Do you find that you need for the investor, like, do I work with a particular area of town? If I'm looking to be an investor, does that matter? Should I be focused on, hey, I live in the Humble area and I'm more familiar with the Humble area, so should I be looking for properties out here? But I can look anywhere.
Yeah, I think we pinpoint people into neighborhoods. We go, what are you looking for? Are you looking for a small possibly rental income and then a 2-year exit? You're looking for a 5-year exit? Are you looking for cash flow? Are you looking to buy it in cash? Are you looking to finance? We put all this together, and there's really not a lot of options out there as far as we're concerned. We'll tell them, you're to fit your criteria and to actually make money, Oak Forest is for you. That's where you're gonna do well.
That pinpointed. That's cool.
Yeah. So I mean, we're real specific. And then if you've got a higher price point, we may suggest a different neighborhood. But it's there's just not a lot of options where you can hit all those points.
Gotcha. Man, that's cool. Hey, Chris, this is how fast the time flies by. We're already coming up against a break. I want to make sure people know how to get a hold of you. So give us some numbers, man. Tell us how to reach you.
Sure. Well, our website's habitationrealty.com. My phone number is 713-426-0366, and we're located at 1332 Yale Street in the Heights, and our second office is in the works over on Washington Avenue.
Cool.
And real quick, I just want to say, last bit of advice for anybody listening out there who's looking to invest in properties. What I've done that's never really created a loss for me is to have 3 outs on any property you buy. One is that it rents and actually makes a cash flow. The second one is that your land value, and then your third one is can you flip out of it? If you've got those 3 things going for you, so you've got a profit on all 3 of them, or at least a safety net, you'll never get burned in real estate.
Awesome. We're going to talk more about that in the last segment of the show for sure. Guys, we're already up against a break. We're going to be right back after a word from our sponsors.
About the ride or the subway fare, 'cause I know someone's there.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Rat Pack Radio Show with Chris, Joe, and Rob. The crew is taking your calls, so dial in at 1-800-808-5548.
And we're live. Welcome back to the show, guys. Man, it's always just mind-blowing to me. You know, I had a show for 3 years, and we've been doing this now. This is our 25th, 26th show. I don't even know. I lost count already. They fly by, and what never ceases to amaze me is how fast the time goes every time. So it's just amazing. If you guys want to know about investing in real estate in Houston, we have all the expertise in the room that you could possibly need to get that underway. And next up, we've got another expert here, Troy Cothran. Troy.
Well, good morning.
Glad to have you on the show, brother.
Welcome to be here. Thank you.
Glad to have you. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself, Troy. Where are you from? Who are you?
I handle the southeast part of town, basically the Deer Park, Pasadena, LaPorte, down going towards Clear Lake. Boy, I've been in real estate, let's say it's been about 29 years, going to 29th year.
So you about got it down?
Almost. But you know what? It seems like you're always learning something new. It's never the same. And that's one of the things I really enjoy about real estate. It's always changing. And we've seen our market change a lot in the last 5 years. Yes. So it always keeps you on your toes.
Holy cow, yes. Has it changed a lot in the last 5 years? 07, 08, Houston, probably out of every city in the United States, weathered the storm really solidly. I think we learned a lot from the late 70s, 80s stuff that we went through. The market here is so much more diversified. We had just a petroleum-based industry here, and that was it. But, you know, the medical industry here is really just one of the tops in the world. Of course, the shipping business with the port is huge. So we have a lot more spread out market, and I think we're seeing that. The jobs right here, I've heard various numbers on how many people are moving to Houston. But,
you know, if you look down 225, which is kind of our backbone through those three cities, you'll find just constant movement between the industries that we have along the ship channel. And that's just improving almost daily. We're seeing more businesses come into our area. We're seeing just stronger employment than we've ever seen before.
Yes. And jobs drive the market, that's for sure. So we're definitely a business-friendly climate here. And Jess lives out in this side of town. And what's fun here is Jessica, to me, is she's one of our rock stars in our office. I was nowhere near as together as she is at the young age that she is, being a superstar in school and everything else. And I wanted to bring her on the show just so she could have an experience and see this and all that sort of thing. She had no idea what the heck I do on Saturdays other than, goof off. And I wanted her to get a little taste of the Real Estate Rat Pack show. But one thing I really wanted to have her insight on is, as a young person, being that forward-thinking, nailing school. She's going to be working on her master's here early on, and she's still in her early 20s, and she's really got it together. But she knows nothing about investing in real estate. I was like, just be curious about the subject. Wouldn't it be cool if you had a rental property that you had somebody in? And so, I kind of want to let her, throw her out there and let her ask you some questions as well.
That would be great. I'd enjoy that. Go ahead.
So, Jess, take it off.
Okay, Troy. Well, one thing that I do want to know is if you need money to start, or if anyone can do it to actually become a real estate investor.
Well, first thing you need to do is start lining your credit up, and you can never start working on your credit too early. Okay, so you need to start having strong credit. You need to pay your bills on time, build up a good, strong credit score so that you'll have lenders wanting your business. Okay, back before we had a lull in our market a few years ago, there was actually investors programs that could get investment property with 5% down very easily. And then, things went up where now a lot of times it takes 20% down for most investors. So, if you get your credit strong, that allows you to open up doors for your financing to be better for you.
Okay, great. Well, would you say that now is a good time for real estate investment?
Now is a great time because we're on our track up in the market. And what we're going to see is, I think for the next year or two, it's going to continue going up. All the indications, our jobs, our housing, everything looks really good for it to continue going up that way. Where we're seeing is, I was talking before the program, we were talking about two types of investors. We were talking about the investors that want to flip and the investors that are looking for rental property. The ones that want to flip, right now, it's getting harder to find those properties. I mean, really, really hard. Not impossible, it's just more difficult. 3 or 4 years ago, they were all over the place. Now, investors that want to go into the market can find properties where they can purchase the property, they can do the repairs, carpet, paint, appliances that need to be done, and still have about 10% equity in the property. In my opinion, if you're looking for a rental property, that is an excellent investment. Because typically when you go to sell a home, it takes about 10%. So if you had to liquidate that property in the near future, you should have equity if there's not even been appreciation, and you're able to sell it and not lose money like you were saying earlier. So right now, what you want to do is find a property that you can do the repairs and have some equity in it.
Okay, great answer. Well, I definitely need to look at my options.
I want you to keep jumping in. I love it. It's so cool to get this kind of a brand new perspective on it and the questions that they would ask. One thing with all you guys, I mean, y'all have tons of years in the business and experience and everything else, and it's hard to take yourself back to that point where you had no knowledge on the subject and think of those questions that person asks. So it's fun, it's fresh to get a take on that.
One of the things that I've been noticing about our market over the last 5 years particularly, before we would only see, I would personally see maybe 1, 2, 3 cash sales a year. And what's happened as it's been harder to get returns on your money, we've seen a lot of people take their money out of the stock market and other investments and investing them in real estate. In the past 5 years alone, I probably have had close to 70 sales that were cash sales, most of them by investors, and most of them pulling their monies out of the stock market to invest in real estate.
I was going to ask if you saw a lot of that was on my mind to ask with Will over there, the finance guy. If you're seeing more cash sales in the market, is that happening more in the investment properties? And you guys, all of y'all, feel free to jump in on this. John and Chris as well, both of you guys. Are you seeing people pull out money from other investment areas? It blows my mind. I remember a time period where CDs had rates as high as the doggone mortgage interest rates that we're getting now. I mean, it just blows my mind that we are in 3% zone on a mortgage. That is just mind-boggling.
Used to be.
Yeah. It's creeping back up.
We were.
It's creeping back up. Yeah, it's creeping back up. But even still, that's another fun thing that we talk about on the show that people are like, can you give me that 3% rate? 4%, who cares? That's still insanely low. If that's holding you back, you're crazy.
I need to address that, I think, because I'm hearing a lot of people, when I say how much the rates have gone up, they go, oh, man, maybe I'll wait a year or something.
Yeah, are you crazy?
I hear that a lot, so I really want to address it because there's probably a lot of listeners out there that may be thinking this, saying, oh, my God, the rates are a whole point higher than they were at the beginning of the year. Ooh, maybe I'll hold off. But the key, I think, is not look back, but look forward.
Yes. They're not going to go down. I don't see them coming back down anytime soon.
So it's you compare. Okay, is a 4% rate as good as a 3%? No, but is a 4% better than a 5 or 6 or 7%? Yes. And that's where the market's going. So the rates are going up, and then prices are going up. So the sooner you get in, the better. Are you better off buying? Were you better off buying last year than this year? Yes. Can you buy last year? No, that's not an option.
Yeah.
So your option is either buy now or buy in the future.
When I got my house, I got an 8.25 rate. It was a great rate at the time. I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. And coming down from 10 and all that sort of thing. And I remember it creep down, and I'm like, wow, 8.25, that's awesome, man. I'm in a good place. Now I'd be absolutely getting taken advantage of.
Yes, it's all relative. All relative.
So I mean, it's definitely a phenomenal time from the interest rate standpoint. That's a really cool aspect of being able to buy right now.
We're still below 5%. So
that's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Anything below 5 is...
Well, I definitely have some more questions for you guys. Are you seeing more tear down properties more? I mean, what's the hot thing right now? You said rentals, I guess, looking for rental.
Yeah, what I'm seeing in rental property, people that are investing right now want to find like a brick house, a 322 preferably. Okay, so they're kind of on the curve of newer type homes, maybe homes that were built in the 80s or newer. That's kind of what they really focus on. It's just easier to rent a home that's a 2-bath and 2-car garage. It'll fit more families and more needs. So you get a higher return on those type of properties than what you would like on a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 1-car, or no garage. So in our area, we don't have a lot of tear down. We've got a lot of subdivisions that were built in the 80s and 90s, and those are the ones that the investors are looking to try to go into. You know, maybe find something for $70,000, $80,000, drop $10,000 in there. They could sell it for $100,000, $110,000. But really, you could already start pushing that value up. We're seeing some of those homes that sold last year at $110,000 now selling for $120,000, $125,000.
Well, you know, the Houston is seeing, I think, an inflation in prices like it's never seen before. Since I've lived in Texas all my life, but I've been in Houston since '85. But the level of appreciation in some of the areas of town has just been kind of mind blowing to me. We've seen. That's one thing. Houston's always been so spread out that we've never had those double-digit inflation numbers like California and some of the other, the coasts have seen. But, man, I tell you what, as hot as it's been, we're seeing with multiple offers and all this sort of thing, that happening a lot more. And that's something maybe to touch on as well. In dealing with investment properties, are you fighting with the multiple offers, that kind of thing? I know we're already again coming up against a break, which is just kind of mind-blowing. I've got like 1,000 questions in my head. I'm going, holy cow, the clock already says I got to take a break. So I want to make sure folks know how to get a hold of you, Troy. So make sure you give that information out there.
Well, I appreciate that. My name's Troy Cothran. I'm with Victory Properties in Deer Park. We have a family company. My wife, Tracy, is my partner in all this, and we have been just working Deer Park for 30 years. You can contact me at our office at 281-479-6100. We're located on St. Augustine in Deer Park.
Awesome. Well, like I said, we got a lot to talk about, a lot to come up still. We're at the half hour, guys. If you want to ask some questions about investing in real estate in Houston, we got the team here today to do that. 800-808-5548. When we come back, as hot as property has been, just finding land, I wanted to ask real quick for both of you guys, John coming up, Chris in the past, if the teardown question. I want to see if there's an area of town where that still looks reasonable because land is so hot. So when we come back, we'll be right back and we'll hit those questions.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Rat Pack Radio Show with Chris, Joe, and Rob. The crew is taking your calls, so dial in at 1-800-808-5548.
And welcome back to the fastest hour in real estate radio, the Real Estate Rat Pack Radio Show. 800-808-5548. If you've got some questions on investing in real estate, we've definitely got the crew here to answer them today. We've got all kind of questions to address, so I want to jump in as quick as possible. Our next guest up, Mr. John Altic. Glad to have you on, brother.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. Glad to be here.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? Where'd you come from? All that fun stuff.
Broker owner of JLA Realty. We're situated out in the Atascocita, Kingwood, Humble area. We have 25 agents working for us in the office, so we're highly invested in the real estate world, and we do deal with a lot of investing. A lot of our buyers are investors at this point in time in that market.
Awesome. So, right off the bat, are you guys, I know you're out in the Humble Kingwood area, are you finding any investment opportunities out there still?
It's a really hot market. That part of town typically is newer. We have a lot of new neighborhoods, homes built in the 90s and 2000s, and those make fantastic buy, fix, rent properties. We deal a lot in the rental market. Not as many flips out there. Kingwood does have some flips. It's a pretty hot market for that. But in a general rule, we're buying, we're fixing, and we're renting out because rate of returns are anywhere from 8 all the way up to 20% on that money.
I know Jessica had a question about foreclosure stuff. So I'm going to let her pose a question to you here.
Fantastic.
Okay, well, how do you choose the right foreclosure for the most positive cash flow?
About 10 years ago, I read a book that said if you're going to get into investing, you're going to look at 100 houses, you're going to put bids on 10, and you might get one. And I think that number really holds true, especially with foreclosures. They're in all sizes out there as far as what the foreclosure looks like. Some of them you walk in the door and you turn around and walk right back out. Others are just, they need a little bit of paint, a little bit of carpet. So you really got to go walk the houses, look at the houses. And as an investor, you really need to talk with your realtor about what your cash flow is going to look like. Do you have $30,000 to put into that house? So a lot of times it's just finding the right house to fit your needs as an investor.
Okay, great answer.
I love it. I do have a question for like on Jess's behalf here. For something you talked about off air during the break, and we always have great points that come up when we're just shooting the bull and talking about what we love doing here. Is that your first home is your first investment property? From this first investor, Jess has just bought a house. She's just getting new out there. What? Huh? Looking. She's looking, right?
Oh. And we know some good realtors.
Yeah, I know a couple. Yes, I might be able to introduce her to one or two. So, for this person that is looking in the Humble area, I mean, what is the first, like, how much money does she need to have coming to the table? Do you need to have money? Is that, tell us a little bit about what that looks like. I want to get into my first property. What does that look like?
I agree.
In Humble.
I agree 100%. I think anyone that owns a house is a real estate investor. That ought to be the cornerstone of your investment portfolio. And really, we like to work backwards. What do you want your house payment to look like? Let's start there. That's what you can afford. Then you definitely have to get with somebody like Will. Talk about your credit. Make sure that's in line. Talk about how much money you have for the down payment. Last week's segment was all about special financing programs. Those are out there. So really, when you're buying your first home, work backwards. What can you afford? Now, apartment rentals are $1,200 a month, for a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. And so what can you get for that? It's a $140,000 house in the Kingwood, Atascocita area. And I know your apartment is not as nice as most of the $140,000 houses out there. So really, it's finding your needs and wants and fitting them. And it's real specific to that area of town. You're not going to get much for $140,000 in the Heights. So, it's just
might be a problem.
It's really about what part of town.
Garage apartment.
Yes.
And it really comes down to what area of town you're in and what the market will bear at that point in time. But really work backwards.
There's a good point, I think, that looking at for the first time investor who's getting out there, budget wise, there's definitely going to be an area of town that's more conducive to that first time opportunity. Is that something I'm hearing?
Absolutely. Again, we'll go back to the Heights, and we were talking about that earlier. That's a hot, fast market, and I know we've bid on homes down there and didn't even come close. Whereas you may be bidding on the same price point in the Atascocita area, and you've got multiple houses, and they're still going to cash flow with tons of money. It's just a different area of town and what your comfort level is.
If you're dealing with the first time investor, I'm sure that, and I'm focusing a lot on first time investor, but we can go anywhere with this one. But dealing with the multiple offers, I hear this on every show from the realtors. It's a new experience dealing with the massive interest in some of these properties. We had one realtor on that said they opened up their property, and within the first weekend, they opened up on a Friday, listed it, and had 60 offers on the property. I mean, that's just like unfathomable to me. I mean, like, where do you start with that?
Well, Joe, it's not just on sales. I had a lease, a $2,100 lease in the Eagle Springs neighborhood a couple weeks ago that had multiple offers and was actually bid up over the asking price on leases. So it's not just sales. I mean, that's the beauty. You talk about investing in Houston right now. Yes, sales are up, but so are rentals. Rentals are through the roof. So it's a great time to buy, fix, rent. I mean, it's out there.
Man, I tell you what, when we were talking before the show about some of the returns that you guys were seeing on rental income, right now with the market being as volatile as a number of guys that you mentioned this, Will, you've mentioned that, real estate in this market, I believe, is the most solid investment around right now. Where else can you see these 15, as you said, 10-15% is conservative return on your investment? That's just a phenomenal way to go. You said something earlier that is a hot button for me, that every home is an investment. if it's your first home, if you own your home, that's an investment. Guys, let me tell you, right now, if you're living in an apartment, if you have a relative living in an apartment, get out of there. There's no reason. I mean, well, I take that back. There's a reason. If you just moved to Houston, you don't know the market, you just got a new job, fine. Rent a property. If you just went through divorce and you're moving out and dealing with that, fine. Rent a property. There's some situations to rent in. Okay, so
if
I don't.
Your credit's not good enough, call Joe.
yes. If your credit's not there, fine. Rent a property right now.
Will.
But Chris and Will saying, don't call us. Call Joe. Yes, we can help. Improve My Credit USA. Shameless plug. I'll throw it out there. We can help. Only the consumer voted #1 credit repair company in the state for the last 3 years in a row. 281-914-4116. Operators are standing by.
Okay, Joe, enough.
Yes. So there are situations to rent. Don't get me wrong. I don't want all the apartment, people calling me mad at me, at the end of the show. There's some situations, but apartments, houses were never meant to be long-time dwelling situations. It's temporary. And so let me tell you guys, right now is the best time. The interest rates phenomenally low. Prices increasing, value increasing in home ownership. So many great opportunities to move out there so that first home that you move into can be a great investment opportunity. You can be smart about the property that you're buying on your first property, and it can be a phenomenal investment opportunity. So I really, you said that earlier, and I was like, that's such a great point. Even the first home you buy.
As low as 3% down. Keep that in mind.
As low as 3% down, exactly. So, I mean, just that alone, I want to make sure that we mention that. If you guys are out there, any of these realtors here today, being experts in the investment side, that first home that you're looking at is a great investment opportunity. Definitely want to remind you all of that. So, get out of the apartment. And if you have credit issues, don't let that be an excuse, because we can help you there too. So, moving on.
We segued off there, Joe. We were good.
Yeah, sorry.
No. Well, that's what it's. I tell everybody out there, whether they're a first-time home buyer or you're looking to buy your first investment property after your personal home, or even the guy that's bought 10 or 12, you've got to shop it. You've got to make sure it feels good to you. You got to find the right area and look at your rate of return. What's the stock market turning you versus what we're capable of. Again, when you're finding the rental properties being bid up, that there's a need out there in these communities for quality living spaces. Now, we tend to, in the Northeast Quadrant, we focus more on higher end rentals. There's not a lot of slumlording out in Kingwood, Atascocita, and that makes a difference. That's just a different renter that,
thank goodness.
Well, yeah, and it's all about what you're capable of doing. The horror stories we hear, well, I don't want to be a landlord because so-and-so and so-and-so had to, evict somebody in the middle of the night. That's not what we're looking for. If you screen your tenants the right way, if you're in the right areas, you're going to get quality renters, and we're really looking for those renters to be buyers down the road.
Do you see that, is there a range of the number of homes that you own where it's smart to get into property management, that type of thing? Do you do it with your first one? Is there enough positive cash flow now where you're like, hey, on the first property, I don't want to manage this property. I'm going to hire a company.
We push to manage every property we sell to our investors. The more cushion you can have between the money man and the actual end user, I think the better, because it takes the pressure off. It lets the real estate agent be more in tune with that. And also for the real estate side, we want that connection with the renter because we want to make them a buyer down the road.
Awesome. Yeah, Troy, you want to jump in? Yeah.
We manage probably about 25 homes right now. And most of the homes that we rent, you'll find that the tenants are paying $200, $250 to $500 more than the same home if they were to purchase it. So, going back to what you're saying right now, there's really, if you can purchase right now, it's a good time to purchase.
Gotcha. Awesome. Yeah. Okay. Actually, you had a question over there. Jump in. We got 2 minutes, so keep that in mind, and we're coming up against the break.
What I was wondering is if when you have clients that are buying multiple properties for investments, and they are using them as rentals, do you ever recommend that they set up each property as a separate LLC to protect their own?
We definitely try and put them in touch with the right CPA and let them make those decisions and set it up. Definitely you want to, there's a point where you want to form a business and take the liability away from your personal assets. Absolutely, we feel that way. Sometimes it's easier to set up a full bank account and LLC per house if you want to track your returns on just that one house, but it can get a little messy by the time you hit 20, 25, 30 houses. But definitely, if you're going to get into real estate, talking to that CPA and your great lender is one of the first two things that I recommend you do, because that's going to really help set the tone down the road.
Great advice. Great advice. Well, we can definitely expand on that when we come back. We got one segment left, guys. That's just amazing how fast it flies by. John, I want to make sure folks know how to get a hold of you as well. Out in the Humble Kingwood area. How do we get a hold of you, man?
Yeah, definitely. Our website, jlarealestate.com. You can also reach me at 281-744-2611. I've got a great team of agents. Anybody can help you. We're all versed in the investment side as well.
Very cool. 800-808-5548. The Real Estate Rat Pack Radio Show. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.